This is Linker TV. I'm your regular host, Casey, and today we'll be bringing to you a very special discussion which has been trending for a while in Abuja, the capital city of Nigeria. Today I have with me Dara Esquire. Welcome to the show, Dara. And I have with me Mr. Ebel. Ebel, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So today we'll be talking about a very serious topic, mob action and jungle justice, as some may call it. This is a serious trend that has been going on in the country for a while now, and you can bear witness that recently there are a lot of incidences, especially of one chance in Abuja. So we're trying to look at the whole thing, the whole one chance thing, and the mob action that follows it. I don't know how we're gonna wrap through all this together. And Mr. Abel, I would like to, have you talk about this jungle justice and mob action as it relates to one chance. What can you make of this, and what do you think is the cause of the one chance?
Thank you very much. First, I would say it's a moment of emotional outburst. Most times jungle justice comes from the fact that the persons doing that act, they think about what they have experienced in the hands of those sort of people, either one chance or any other kind of crime you can think of. They have experienced that. They now saw someone that has done something like that. They put themselves in that shoe and then they begin to react violently. So I believe that the jungle justice is a moment of emotional outburst. Howbeit, not everybody can control their emotion. Not everybody can put their tempers in check. And of course, as you asked, one would want to consider, why have we broken down to that extent of doing the jungle justice, carrying out that action? There must be a place where the people have lost hope in a system that would avert such. So when you now think about, in the midst of a confused emotion, you now remember that if I'm able to even control myself and ask the authorities to take charge, will they deliver justice? That's why justice came into it, howbeit jungly.
Yeah, thank you for that. It's actually an emotional outburst. You can see we're all emotional because I watched some that really got me off recently. And I like to draw from an experience. Some point ago, I was in Enugu, in a market, Holy Ghost Market Enugu, and I saw something that amazed me. While I was buying something, a young man was being chased. So somebody shouted, "Jitea, Jitea," meaning catch him, catch him. And then the person I was buying something from went inside, picked a stick. Even his neighbor picked a stick. So the young man came to pass, and then suddenly he got up with the stick. Whoom! He wanted to hit the young man. And then the young man dodged, jumped the fence of the market, and moved away. So I asked the man, I said, "What did the young man do?" He said he doesn't know. They said Jitea, and that is it. That's enough for the person to become a suspect, to be killed. So don't you think, we talk about emotion, don't you think people should also be thinking of, perhaps this person could be innocent. I wasn't there when he started. Why should I join in the beating? Don't you think people have responsibility of also looking at some areas of it without, playing to emotion?
That's very deep. I actually think people should look at that. But would you say they have that time within that split seconds that thing happened to ask themselves that question? That question takes a man that is in a state of consciousness to act. Whereas you are there asking yourself, if this guy escaped, tomorrow he might want to do to me what he almost did that he was caught. I don't know if you understand that part. So you would now ask yourself, if you must ask yourself before acting on what your emotion is telling you would have gotten to a point where you are conscious of your state. But in that kind of circle, not everybody is conscious. We are just moved by, like you said, he said Judea, we are moved by the action. The action is catch him. I don't have time to think what he did. They have already judged him and they have condemned him from where he's coming from. I will just flow with it. That's how jungle justice works.
Yeah, interesting. Dara, can we look at the legal perspective of this? What do you think? Because, we see people kill people. And what's the offense? They have committed crime. Who has proven that they have committed crime? The mob. So what do you think should be happening? Do you really think there's justification, emotional justification, to lynch somebody in the streets because of crime in the eyes of the law?
So capital law first. The consequences of jungle justice cannot be estimated because no matter what, like what you said about the tear, I think the man that said the tear has not done wrong because it's a cash in, it's a killing. And under the law, as an individual, you have the right to arrest anybody that committed any crime, or you suspect that this person committed as an individual before you arrest the person, get the person down, and then the police come and pick up the person. Not for you to arrest the person and kill the person. So there's a difference between when you arrest as an individual, you have the power under the law to arrest anybody. So this person, the guy said, deter, pick him or catch him. Maybe the guy stole something, maybe. Yeah. So he can pick the guy, call the police, come and pick the guy up, and let the police follow, give the guy what they call fair trial. You look at something in Nigeria law now, they don't call people accused anymore. They hardly use the word accused, they use the word defendants. Because you're a suspect. You've not been condemned. You're just a suspect, you're just a suspect. So I am not in support of jungle justice whatsoever in Nigeria. We should not take law into our hands. My Mr. Ibe said talked about emotion. Of course, we are all being emotional. I cannot imagine somebody come to my attack me yesterday and today I saw the person. Anybody come I want to do okay, we want to do this with the person. But we should be able to control ourselves. Until when we get to that state of civilization in Nigeria, before you know that okay, if you would have, for instance, the issue of Abuja about the issue of one chance or whatever, even though we peradventure God the person in the act, they are just doing a call because that does not give you the guarantee or the right to be the one to melt out justice. So it's not even justice because I don't know why people call it jungle justice. I would say it's jungle barbarism or whatever because you're not giving justice. Because there's a difference between justice and judgment. We all know this kind of difference between justice and judgment of the person. So you're not even giving justice to the person. You're not giving justice. You're really just doing your act, which is not fair. So in short, the law does not support jungle justice or mob action in Nigeria. The only thing that you can do as a citizen in Nigeria that want to follow what the law says is that when you find anybody doing that act, committing any offense, that person stole or the person is actually perpetrating the issue of out of one chance, just get the person arrested, keep the person until the police come and arrest the person, take the person to the courts, and just will be done there. That's the only thing that you can do. At the police station and at the court.
Now, barrister, you would want to ask yourself, how many times have the people gotten justice?
There's justice out there, sincerely. We have to say the truth. There's justice out there.
Because many times we've got...
It might take time, but they say justice delay, not justice denied. It probably might take time, but justice delay.
Many times your report is dead on arrival. Even sometimes you are making report and you are being told that, we got this kind of report yesterday. It's when you get, you will be getting advice from people you came to report that when you get to such place, put your phone in your pocket. Do this. I don't know if you understand. So you would want to say, you remember initially I said it has to be trust. Trust was broken somewhere. You understand? Now, you said, why did that man just carry a stick? He trusts the seller he's with in the market every day, every time. But he doesn't trust this one, and he believes that this seller would have made the right call. But how do you now catch someone who is running? You have to hit the person down to bring him. So sometimes I don't think that jungle justice is intended to really kill them, but is intended to neutralize them so that the police will come, because we don't know what they have in their possession. We don't know what is in the bag they are carrying that they can use against us. I'm not in support, but I'm trying to see how, I'm trying to put myself in their shoes. What would push me to the point where I'm doing that sort of thing, like you called it?
Yeah, right, thank you. When we come back from the break, we'll be able to discuss more. So, to our listeners, you can drop your comments. What's your take about jungle justice? What do you think? Do you think people have the right to take the law into their hands? Or do you think people should wait for the police? Give us your response and let us know what you have in your mind. Thank you for staying tuned with us. Before we go on break, you were talking about, just talking about the whole emotion thing. I don't believe that someone who is clean
Can
take a stick
on a fellow human
being on his head. You're hitting him, he's shouting, he's falling down, he's collapsing. You
I
continue to hit him.
completely agree with you
So
on that.
I really believe that even those who are caught beating these people should be arrested too.
Sure.
Because there's tendency. Or Barrister, what do you think?
I think that from that angle, I'm of the view that probably it might not be the person eating another man might not be a criminal. Mr. Abes actually talked about it, about emotion. It's about to control your emotion. We have an emotion, just for you to be able to control your emotion. It might even be a doctor, a lawyer. If you see, when you check some time among the mobs, you can say maybe there'll be a lawyer, there'll be an engineer, to someone that have gone to school. They just prefer that person, just like a man that probably beat the wife at home. Or a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer can beat his wife at home, eat the wife on the head. So it's not about being a criminal, it's about you cannot control your emotion. You must learn how to control emotion, because the best power for any man to have on earth is the power to control your anger, your emotion in life. Like I was saying. So those are the one part of it. And the second part of it is that when you say that maybe those people that are actually eating a victim, I use the word a victim, someone that probably is always suspect, because anybody is a suspect, eating the suspect, should be arrested and should be tried too. Because they actually take law into their hands. They're taking law into their hands, and the law does not have it. The Constitution of Nigeria, Section 36, specifically, the Constitution as amended, says that everybody is entitled to fair hearing, which actually come under the fair trial. Even assuming the person has committed the offense, the person is entitled, in that aspect, the person is entitled to fair trial. And what is fair trial? For the police to pick the person, try the person, take the person to court and prosecute the person. If the person is guilty for 5 years, you should give him 5 years. If the person is guilty for 2 years, and the person is guilty for death sentence, you should be given a death sentence by the court of competent jurisdiction, not by the court of the mobs. I can't understand. So that's what I think.
So, Barrister, we have a situation whereby people say they don't trust the police. That you catch a criminal, you hand over to the police, and then the police frees them. So, in the eyes of the law, or within the law, do you think police should be freeing suspects? Don't you think suspects should be held, tried, and then sentenced? Is there any provision for a suspect or a suspect in that kind of matter to be freed?
Okay, I'll start. Before I go to the question, to give answer to the question, the thing that I've said before, that I think the law of Nigeria, the constitution, should be made known, or should be written in other language apart from English, so that people can be exposed. Just like what my brother said, that some people you do not know the law. Because most of us in Nigeria don't even know what the law says. There's what they call police acts. And now, going back to your questions, I'll just say that there's what they call billable offenses, and there are offenses that are not billable. So I will give an example. There's what we call robbery and armed robbery that are different from each other, and theft. Now, if armed robbery is not billable, because capital offense, probably, and what you're talking about arms, some people will think that when you carry guns or whatever is armed. No, ordinary Bible can be armed. Knife is armed. So when you use all those things, so it's armed robbery. So one chance or more action, whatever, if the offense is billable, the person is entitled to bail within 24 or 48 hours. If the police cannot give bail to you within 24 or 48 hours, the police should take you to court to try you in court. But if they cannot take you to court within 24 or 48 hours, then it's bailable. They have to give the condition. They call it administrative bail. Police bail is administrative bail. So you get the bail, they give the condition, go and be level 10, whatever, depends on the condition given to you and the requirement. Then you pay the bail, the person will be free. They will allow the pay, but not that baby is person is free. And what the essence of getting the shorty to be somebody, a suspect, is that if they could not find the suspect, then they will pay the shorty. Shorty will be in place of the suspect to try the person in court. So, and there are offenses that are not bailable. If the offense is not bailable and the police
bail the person, release the person, then the citizens should raise an alarm. She's talking about it. But any offense that is bailable, the person is entitled to bail. You cannot keep telling more than 24 or 48 hours.
So
Depends.
the case now, sometimes you are saying it's not really that police free.
It's not really that it's not that maybe police just free the person. If the offense is bailable, the police must. I mean, they will not say shall, because there's a difference between shall and may in law. Shall is that it's compulsory, you must do it, you cannot do any other thing about it. When they say you want shall, and that's what is the constitution. The person shall be released on bail if the offense is bailable. Except the police actually think of another reasonable reason why they should not release the person. Maybe the person will jump bail, the person will escape, and all those things. They can tell the court or whatever, and for that reason, and that reason must be tenable, must be reasonable.
So, Barrister, let me stay with you. What kind of offenses do you think the state should handle? For instance, if someone was involved in one chance, maybe, or robbery, in some cases of stealing from somebody, robbing somebody. Now the person is caught, and then the person who was the victim maybe did not show interest in that case. Police have already taken the person, and probably the person is on bail, and the victim did not show interest in going ahead with that case. Do you think the state can go ahead with that case, or will the matter be resolved in case of one chance?
Any criminal offense against the state, I think that's the best way to answer this. Any criminal offense against the state, not even against the individual, not against the victim per se, it's against the state. Yes, so any criminal offense is against the state.
So
if I thought the victim is not, it's against the state.
It's against the state.
Yes, it's against the state, also against the victim, of course. But the mainly against if the victim say, I'm not more interested in this case, I don't want to pursue this case anymore, but the government will pursue the case because the government wants to claim because number one, the law says that section 1 of the constitution says that the number one duty of the government is to provide security for the citizens, for the people. Yeah. So it's part of this provide security for you to pick a one chance man and try the person so that next time the person will not repeat the same act against the people of the state. So the duty of the government to provide security, and part of the security for you to try anybody that they actually suspect as committed any offense and give out the necessary punishment to the person.
Quite interesting. So as we begin to elaborate, do you have anything to add to what you said?
Well, just a little to add. I like the angle. I like the angle for which the barrister came, and I think I stand with him on that. Mob action is not something we should support. However, I would like the agencies responsible for security, not just the police, but especially the police. If you make your process open, if you make it transparent, it will be easier to trust you. Now, if I come to the station and I lay complaints, it is expected that you tell me, okay, I've heard complaints from so person too. Let me hear from this. Okay, the complaint you brought yesterday, we let this person go because of this. Let it be something that I can verify and I can be comfortable with. Let it not be covered in secrecy and like some corner business. It will help us build trust. And I think they should speak more of what they are doing for the people. Let it not be like it's a privilege for an officer to protect me. It's not a privilege, it's a right. So when you do your duties, not expecting kickbacks for your duty, it makes me trust you more, because whether or not I give you kickbacks, you will perform your duties. You understand? So it's just a broader case, because this mob action needs to stop. And for it to stop, trust needs to be rebuilt. And for trust to be rebuilt, the process needs to be clear, transparent. Let me see what you are doing for me. That's what I'm
quite interesting. We're talking about trust. As we round up, let me bring the issue of Deborah. You remember Deborah?
Yeah.
Who was lynched in Sokoto?
Yes.
You remember Madam Bridget in Kano? Who
Mhm.
was also lynched by a mob in Kano?
Yeah.
And if you look at the circumstances surrounding the whole thing, I think recently I read a news that suggests that the killers of Bridget were released.
Of course.
So how do one come to trust the state? Because it's a capital offense to kill somebody, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct, yes, correct.
It's a capital offense,
Yes.
which I don't think the person should be bailed.
No, it's not
The person
believable.
be bailed, and there should be consequence for
Yes.
that action. And then hearing that after a few years, the people have been released, it's heartbreaking. So how would citizens now begin to build trust? How would they trust the government? How would they trust the police to be? How would they trust the courts to be able to protect them and to be able to be accountable for actions made on citizens? So these are some of the things that should be looked into.
Yeah.
Seriously, don't you think, guys?
Yeah, you're correct, correct, sir. There's what they call Human Rights Watch. Yes. They actually brought out a report in 2014, and they said that more people, innocent people, are being killed by the act of jungle justice, by the way of jungle justice, which is very brutal, very barbaric, and so I'm of the view that there should be more campaign. And because when you give the issue, the example of Bridget, Mrs. Bridget, and also Deborah, and many others that we know about in Lagos, it happens very well. Like this, maybe the person doesn't commit the offense. Maybe the supposed victim was actually not in good time with the supposed suspects. Like how this, and we just raise an alarm. Oh, hey, this happened before you know. I could remember that the issue of Mrs. Bridget was that the issue of somebody doing something and another person doing something. Why are you doing this? So I'm of the view that there should be more campaign for the government. There should be more awareness that make people to know that, look, no matter what, if you haven't grieved, I can suspect anybody. If I grieve by the act of somebody, do not take law into your hands. Make sure you report the person to the appropriate authority so that they can take the appropriate action to deal with the person if they found the person guilty. Because you cannot determine. Because judges that give judgment in court, they do not just give judgment, they have what they call reasoning. They go for the training to reason about your composure, the way you talk. It's wonderful for you to just take law to your hands and met out whatever judgment you want to give, because that's not justice. That's what we call it jungle justice. We call it jungle judgment. Because that's not justice is justice. Justice is just one way. There's no two way about justice. So maybe we should be calling it jungle judgment. Just be judgment to somebody instead of justice.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for the wonderful insights, and I believe our viewers enjoyed the show. And I hope everyone will be able to carry on the campaign, say no to jungle justice. Always call the attention of the police where you see something. Don't join those who kill people on the road. Let us know what you think about this jungle justice. And next time we'll be meeting, we'll be talking about something else that is very, very important. Thank you for watching, and have a beautiful evening.